when you start building an application, you will end up writing a lot of code. It is always a good idea to modularize or separate your code from the very beginning. So in this case, we can separate this function to a separate file. So let's create a new file. Let's name it helpers.js. Okay, and let's paste that code here. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to export this function from this helpers file and import into app.js and use here. And later, if we need this some function in some other files in our entire application, we should be able to use that, right? So once we export from here, we should be able to use that function anywhere inside our application. Okay, and there is a way we can do that. First, let me comment this out, okay, and let me console log process. Okay, so if you remember, in browser we have window object, and inside window we have document. In a similar way, in Node.js we have a global, and inside global we have this process. Okay, so this is what we are concerned. So let's console log. Let's see what we have available in this process. So let's call it node app.js, and as you can see, the process object has been console logged here. It has a lot of properties and methods you already saw earlier, but let's go all the way down, and you see here we have this module object, and in this module object we have the exports object, which is currently empty. This is in the root of this process object. So we can take benefit of this. We can add the functions that we create, okay? So we can add them into this exports object. As a result, whatever is added to this exports object will be available in the entire application. Okay, so what we can do is we can use this exports to export our method. So as a result, that will be available in the entire application, because entire application is running in the process. Because exports is a part of this process object. Okay, so what we can do is we can go here and we want to export, right? So module exports, this object currently empty. Now we're going to add this method that we create. Perfect. Now we should be able to access this sum method. So let's go back to app.js. Let me comment this for now. Let me uncomment these ones. And here I'm going to require. So let me assign that to a variable constant. Let's call it helpers equals to require helpers, and it is in the same directory. So I just use / to load from the same folder, same directory. Okay, so this is how we import our own files, our own modules, and use them in our application. Okay, now that we have imported this helper from this file, what we can do is we can use helpers.sum. So we require helpers, or you can give it any other name. Okay, so we require helpers from helpers, and we use the sum method out of that. Okay, now let's go to the console and see if it works. Okay, so node app.js, and you see it works. So we were able to move our function to a different file, export from there using module exports, and use anywhere in our application. In our case, we used in app.js. We assigned it to a helpers variable, and then we accessed that method using helpers.sum, and this is how it worked. This require method you can use to load your own modules like we did here, or you can use this require method to load core Node.js modules as well as third-party modules that we will use using npm. Okay, so all that you will learn in coming videos, and you might also realize that this require method is not available in the browser environment. Even though it's a JavaScript code, it is available only in the Node.js environment. Let's comment all this out and let's uncomment the console log and see if the process has the module exports, if that has some properties. Okay, so let me go node app.js. Okay, as you can see, the exports, even though we added the sum method to exports, it shows empty. Why is that? That's because the exports is private to each modules. So instead of trying to console log here, what we can do is we can try console logging here. Save this file and go to your terminal and this time run node helpers.js. Okay, and here in the exports you can see the sum has been added and it is a function. Okay, so you don't see the entire code. Obviously you don't see the code executed as well, but you can see it has been added to the exports object. Okay, so there are other ways of exporting. It's a similar way but syntactically easier to use, and we will explore those options in the following lesson. Thank you.